The conversation isn't over yet. Part 3 is here, and we're talking through balancing life and parenthood. So, with all of these things that we have, we still have, we were pretty busy people before marriage, before children. So, how are y'all balancing, or have you created a good balance between your schedules and the kids' schedules?
Well, you said kids, but we only got one,
Uh,
so it's not plural.
Um, your kid,
like,
kid
like
apostrophe
scared.
s
Nah, kid.
schedule.
I mean, for us, we kind of work Hannah's schedule around ours, really.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not doing a whole lot. I mean, we also have the help of our, Micaiah's mom, my mother-in-law, to also kind of help and assist us when we need it. So I think that's the beauty of our situation, just having family around to kind of help us whenever we need to kind of help create that balance. I don't think you ever would master the balance. I just think you kind of just have to create it and kind of find it and just be flexible because things are going to adjust.
Mm.
And I think now, Hannah, she's like more self-sufficient, thank God. So now it's just like, okay, Hannah, we about to roll out. Sorry, pick your clothes out, put your clothes on, go brush your teeth real quick or whatever. Well, or let me do that. Let me do your edges. She's like, Mama, did you put some lotion on me? So she knows what we gotta look like before we hit the door. So like she's my it girl. She girly girl all the way. But as far as schedules, we have this sound routine. I get up in the morning, her clothes are already picked out. Marcus, helps her with her toothbrush and stuff. I just slick the edges back and we go. Like we do it like clockwork now, and we just in this routine, and one is easy right now. So God, please keep me near the cross. Like, I hope his knee don't give out again. Like we could.
Give out.
Mike,
Give out.
I think we do. I think we do all right. We it's the busiest thing now. Is just since they're in school, like it's so many birthday parties and
Oh yeah.
all that stuff, and we had them doing like the Y stuff, but we pulled them out of that for a little bit of time. So we'll try to start getting that back going. Like, but TJ was doing basketball and t-ball and all that stuff, but then when we started having the girls, it kind of made it a little bit more complicated. So we're gonna try to get that stuff back in this year. But I mean, for the most part, we figure out a way to kind of get it all done. And then if it's just a day, I'm a huge fan of, if it's too much one day, we just ain't gonna do nothing. Like if I got something on the calendar, Tracy got something on the calendar, the kids got something on the calendar, I'd be like, babe, shut it all down. Whoever we told we was gonna be there, it ain't happening. We just gonna be at the house and they gonna be okay. Whoever is, cause like we just gotta, you can't be in 10 different places at one time, and I'm okay with that. Like I would tell, look, it's just not the day for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
I will do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're quick to, if we get overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
shut everything down. Period.
Mm-hmm.
We'll send you a cash up. We love you. We appreciate you. All the things, but home has to always be healthy. Always.
That's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know, like for us, this kind of happened over time. We have a family calendar. Like we have a joint calendar, and we put everything on the calendar. Like if he has something to do, I have something to do. Like we pay attention to all of that. So when we wake up in the morning, we will see what needs to be done, and we just kind of do like a process of elimination from there. If it can all be done, we'll do it. But if it can't, we just won't.
You start
And
chopping away.
chopping away. Um, and I think one of the biggest things for me is, yes, the kids have a lot to get done. There's a lot that has to get done between all of us as a family. But I'm big on connection before the day starts.
That's good.
Like like we have to greet each other before we get up and start running, or I will still shut everything down. But like, because once we start from a healthy place, the whole day just runs much smoother from there.
Mm-hmm.
Much
And do
smoother.
you mean that by you and Tristan, or do you mean that like as a family as a whole? Like,
Me and Tristan,
okay,
Us first, at
us
least.
first, and
Yeah,
then the kids.
okay,
yeah.
We start with
okay,
us
that's
first.
good. That's good.
Amen.
I like that. Let's
We
incorporate.
the order. Rock.
I
The
love
order.
that. That is so cute.
No, I love what you said with the healthy home.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is so important. And I feel like when you are so you don't want to disappoint people, sometimes it's at the you disappoint yourself and your family.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we went to dinner and the line was long and I was overstimulated, I
Uh,
could not enjoy it because I could not enjoy the fellowship because I was overstimulated. And I'm just like, dang, we should have just left. Like, you don't, but you don't want to disappoint people, but at what expense?
That's
So
good.
I like that.
right.
Like
Mm,
making sure that your home is healthy.
yeah, we'll get right on up out of there.
I was
Cause
talking.
I don't like lines and waiting and stuff anyway. So I'd be like, we can go. We can go ahead and go.
Right. Find a
I'll
good,
give him a
nice little
look from
window.
across the room. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I think, and we're working on our balance too. So I'll do like the morning routine with the girls, but Talia's not in school yet. So I am scared of that 7 something o'clock that she got to be
Mm-hmm.
at school when I'm trying to.
7:30 or 7:45.
Mm-hmm.
It's so early. I'm trying to get us
It
out the
is
house
so.
by 8 o'clock, and it'd be like eight
Yeah, it's
ten.
yeah.
So trying to figure
It's
out
not,
how that balance is going to be. What were you saying, Tracy?
yeah. Yeah, I
It's a
think
lot.
with that, don't think about it. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't over process it too much. Just do it. Like some days are better than others,
Mhm.
but I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, I do drop offs. So some days everybody's ready to go and I take them all in one swoop. And then some other days since TJ's first, I drop him off, come back home and get the girls. Cause they're all have different arrival times. But
Mm.
I mean, we do because TJ's 7:45. Trent has to be at her school by 8:30, and then Mia's daycare, so we can kind of drop her off whenever. But yeah, it's in most days we can get them all headed out. We all leaving at like 7:20, and I can just boom, boom, boom. But
Mm.
then some days I come back to the house, get the girls, and head out again.
Yep. Yep. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Whatever
Right.
works.
It's real.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So you said something, and I think it segues perfectly into like our final thoughts. You said we make sure we're good first, like you and Tristan are good first, and then you go forward. So, how are you ensuring that your marriage doesn't take a back seat to parenthood?
Well, we're very intentional with talking and just communication. I feel like that's at the top of the list. Just trying to make sure that we're always talking, even if it's during the day, through text messages, even if it's a little love text or just or it's a reel or just anything, just some form of communication, making sure that we're always talking, even if it's just something random. Um, we still trying to get the date night routine going. That with the 3 kids, trying to find a babysitter for 3 kids, that's expensive. So we try to get creative with that. But
Yeah, I say date night is definitely the final thing we ain't quite figured out yet. I mean, because it's just logistically, it's just a lot. Don't nobody want to come watch 3 kids and then it's like late. Hold on, y'all. Somebody coming up the steps.
Marriage to parenthood.
Uh-oh.
But
We
just
we about to meet some Mini Coopers.
I see what you did there.
yeah, but just trying to just be intentional with just who we are first.
Yeah.
Just talking and just building that connection with each other. You know, for us, communication really tops everything, everything. So just loving on each other with in that space, being intentional, just with our words. Like communication with us is really big, really, really big. And I feel like everything
Now,
else
did
just kind
y'all
of
grow into
flows
that?
from there.
Like, cause being married 13 years and being big on communication, like, was that always a thing, or that was something that, like, okay, we didn't had these bouts and it really communication really picked up in year 3? Like, what was that for y'all? Like, was it always like that communication, or because
Um,
sometimes I used to shut down. I don't do that anymore. So, like, what was that?
well, I feel like for us, it's always been communication,
Okay.
always. But as we got older and children came into the picture, it matured. It got better. Like I'm not an arguer, and Tristan isn't either. So
You grew into not being an arguer.
really,
I mean, I think you would have been open to it. I shut down. So some backstory. My parents have been married they'll be married 53. Yeah, 53 years this year. I've never heard my parents yell or fight. I've seen them have a disagreement, but it's very civil, and they kind of have a little exchange, but it's no aggressive yelling back and forth. So when we first started dating, I told her, like, when we was getting serious, I was like, I don't do the fuss and fighting. I don't know how I don't do it because I ain't never been she was my first like real relationship. I had like girlfriend, boyfriend stuff, but I was like, I don't do the yelling and the fighting. So, but I think she would have been open to it if I said I do that. She would have been ready to do it
okay.
too.
So I grew up around a lot of arguing and just disagreement. So I knew for a fact that I didn't want to bring that into my marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to bring it there. Like so, talking has always been big for me.
Yeah.
And if in the moment I ain't got it, I ain't got it. I'll come back in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it takes. But communication has always been big for me, and I don't like arguing. So
We're both decent. We started out being decent communicators to begin with. I would say her better than me once we first, just because I was a guy, and we just don't really say much. But I always had an idea of what I wanted to say and kind of how to get it out. And just as time goes on, you learn how to communicate with each other. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I play a lot, and sometimes I can be like, if we're having a disagreement or something, I can be like condescending about something, or if I was trying to sway her into what I was thinking. Cause I remember one day she specifically told me, like, I don't like feeling like I'm being manipulated. You know what I'm saying? And I was just trying to. We were having an argument about something. I was trying to kind of like trick her into like agreeing with the point I was trying to make. But she caught it at the time and was like, I don't like being, feel like I'm being manipulated. I was like, okay. Like
I caught it.
Yeah, you did. So, so like we've been able to communicate pretty well. And I think a big thing was just having that boundary from the beginning. Like, I'm not going to scream and fight and yell with you. It's just not going to happen. I'm not. You're going to be yelling at yourself, yelling at the wall. I'm not doing it. So I think that kind of set a building block of, we're going to have to learn to communicate. And I tell couples all the time, like, y'all can't only talk to each other when y'all need to have a talk, because then you won't know how to talk to each other. So I had to make it a point to just have conversation with Tracy about nothing so we could learn to communicate with each other. Stuff I don't necessarily care about. Like, if I ask, how's her day? How's your day? I ain't necessarily really care, but it's like I'm learning how to
Well,
communicate with her by having
conversation
that
started.
conversation.
I got you.
You're supposed to care.
I mean, I care, but like my mom, when I was growing up, I would come home from school every day, and TJ does it now. She was like, "How's school?" And I'd be like, "Fine," and then that would just be the conversation. I mean, you know, so I'm kind of good with her telling me her day was fine. I don't need to know all the details, but I know she wants to share all the details. So I had to learn to just listen to it and then respond and engage. So then when we had arguments or when we had a disagreement, I knew how Tracy receives information from me, and she knew how I receive information from her because we flexed that muscle when it wasn't a tense situation. So when we did have a tense situation, it wasn't, we practiced in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people
Teach
that all the
us.
time, like practice.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to
That's
practice
that
talking.
13 years.
Right.
I mean, because it's easy. People are surprised with it's easy not to sit down and talk, especially when you own especially when we didn't have kids. It was kind of easy to just like, well, you do your thing and I do. I mean, we married, but what I'm saying, we don't have to talk all day. And sometimes Tracy would call me, like we talking at the house and I leave, and she calls me on the drive. I'm like, bro, I just left. What is there to talk about?
Everything.
She
But
missed
I had to
you.
learn. I just left 2 minutes ago, but I had to learn that it was beneficial, and it helps you just flex that muscle of like, I know how to communicate with her and vice versa.
That is so good. That was one of the things that the speakers talked about. Just being able to have conversations when things are going well helps you to have those conversations when you need to have those hard conversations. And like Don and I are like y'all with the whole we don't argue because like I do see it as pointless to yell. Like why are we yelling? Why are we flexing our voices like that? Like
Oh yeah,
that is you don't yell.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, in your own way. He just yelled regular though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not he's not upset. He's
No, it's
just
not a bad. Yeah,
loud.
I'm just loud.
He's just loud, but I'm not. So it's just like
Yeah.
we can have a regular conversation and talk and have those discussions without having the arguing and things like that. But I think one thing that we have talked about that we're working on is making sure that our marriage is not becoming a roommate situation because we have kids and that the conversations are always wrapped around the kids. So
No, that's facts because it was like at a point it starts to get like you get in the routine of all right, wake up. First thing you do, you going to get the kids, get them dressed, changed, and then you get in the car, you hop, go to your day, and then by the time you get off, it's time for you to rush back daycare, school, whatever, pick them up, get them something to eat, get them home, then play a little bit, then you get in the bedtime routine, get them bathed and all that stuff. And by the time you do all that, plus your work job, now you're tired and you don't even have time or the strength to try to even talk to your spouse. So it's like you're tired and you don't have the energy for it. So like you got to make sure that you stick to that and that you make sure you put your spouse first because I didn't marry my kids. I married my wife. So you gotta, yeah.
Right.
and
Yeah,
his wife go to bed
Don.
early.
Oh, she definitely go to bed early.
I can go to sleep like that.
I'm like, all right, babe,
Oh yeah,
kids sit
Tracy will go
down.
to sleep
We
at
about to have a
Tracy will
date
go to
night.
sleep at
Let's
six
go
thirty.
watch a show. Intro. Ain't even got
I
past
can
the
go
ads
to
yet.
sleep
Gone.
right now.
You said who go to bed at 6:30?
I said she can go to bed
I
at six
can.
thirty.
Oh,
Yes.
I wish.
And sleep the whole night.
not.
She'll go to bed like on a Sunday or something. She'll go. Well, don't. She'll be like, I'm gonna go take a nap. It'll be like 6:30. She'll nap from 6:30 to 8:30. Get up, take the kids to bed, and then go get right back into bed. And I'd be like,
I can do
well, hey to you too.
that.
Right.
Hey to you.
Listen, I encourage you to try it. It's
I
great.
say
No, I'll be up all night. If I
that be
take a
exhausting,
3 hour
don't
nap,
it?
That thing
I'll be
is
up all
real.
night.
But But that's real though. But like, it's all about. Like, I feel like Tristan, you mentioned like knowing your partner, like you know her communication style, you know all those things. So when you actually know who you married and who you chose to marry and spend your life with, that helps you to not get offended when you know that they like to sleep. So if you know there that sweet spot is like, oh, when we need to do stuff before 10, then we need to do that. And after 10, she probably gonna go to sleep, or he's probably gonna go to sleep. So I can't get offended that I want to spend that time, but I also know that you gonna get your sleep.
Yep.
We hope that you are enjoying this series. We want to hear from you, so make sure that you leave a comment on what resonated with you. Like and subscribe for more from Unscripted TV.